Hi.
Hi.
Hey guys, it's your girl Topanga Bonte, and we are here with Swag Her Magazine, and this is What's Going On. Hi, Mona Lisa.
Hi. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
You are absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
Literally stunning. You radiate the cheekbones, everything.
Thank you.
Literally, you radiate. I'm
Okay, well,
so
you have
happy
to
to
take
have
me
you.
back on the stage. Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you. I just had to bring that. Your beauty just takes over the room. I have
Thank you.
AirPods in. Can you hear me well, or should I take them out?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hey guys, it's your girl Topanga Avanti, and I am the Black Samantha Jones, and you're tuned into What's Going On. This segment is special to me. I love doing what's going on because we get to meet the everyday people that make the world turn. You're tuned into What's Going On, where we keep it raw and relevant, and we're rooted in culture. And right here we have Swag Magazine, and we are here with
Oh, you went out. I can't hear you. Oh my God. Let's see. Are you able to hear me? It went out. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me? Oh my goodness. I think we're having a little technical
You-
difficulties.
We can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me now? Okay, I can hear you now. Oh, I apologize.
Okay, I would say. Hey guys, it's your girl Topanga Avanti, the Black Samantha Jones, and you're tuned into What's Going On. I love What's Going On segment because we get to meet the raw and relevant people that make the world go round. And I'm so happy to have Mona Lisa Diamond with us. This is where we break down the headlines, talk about the tastemakers and the trend makers, the tastemakers, and the spotlight on the people that are moving and making these components work and that matter the most in our community. Hello, Mona Lisa.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Before we jump in, let's just set off the vibe. From trending topics to cultural commentary, what's going on is all about putting the language to what we're really feeling. Whether it's a viral moment or a headline worth unpacking, or a conversation where that we're finally ready to have. Today's episode is one that I'm excited about. We're going to talk about beauty, representation, and what it means to rewrite your own rules in spaces where spaces weren't always built for us. Um, so we're going to start off. Now, I already know we don't just bring anyone on this show. So we have someone very, very special with us. This is someone who's bringing impact and energy and is setting the tone in modesty. Meet Mona Lisa Diamond, Miss King Countries USA, Miss Kings County USA's 2025 Beauty. Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to have this interview.
She's a Brooklyn born educator, an entrepreneur, and a community advocate. Mona Lisa is making history as the first Black woman, Islamic Black woman, to compete in the Miss New York USA while honoring full modesty. Okay, and serving cheekbones, may I add. At 36, she returns to the pageant stage after almost a decade away, challenging the beauty norms and expanding representation in powerful ways. She's the founder of the Real Estate Fairy, a mission driven business that has helped over 20 formerly homeless individuals secure stable housing. Throughout her work with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, she leads youth financial literacy programs and a large scale park restoration initiatives in Brooklyn. I was born in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, but I'm from Atlantic City.
Okay.
So I'm so excited to hear about this. Now, using her platform to raise awareness about different things from cancer screening, advocacy, health equality, and discovering what true beauty is, she carries the link to the next standard of beauty. Mona Lisa's journey is rooted in faith, resilience, and a service. She is selfless. She's not only reclaiming her dream, she's creating spaces for others to do the same. So, can we get a round of applause for Mona Lisa?
Thank you.
Mona Lisa, how does it feel to be here?
It feels amazing. And even just having some of my bio read, it's like, oh, who is that girl? And
It's you. It is
yeah,
you. It
I
is you.
know.
I think sometimes it's important to have an introduction because sometimes you just got to give people their flowers out. They can smell it and just make sure that they feel loved and they feel welcome,
Thank you.
and let them know not only that you've done your research on them, but you know what they stand for and letting others know what they stand for and what and I think sometimes when you allow guests to say their introduction, it's not as impactful as someone else reading to it. So we just wanted to give you your flowers. So let's get into this. What inspired you to return to the pageant stage after almost a decade being gone?
Well, initially at 28, I aged out and I thought that my dream was completely over. But
Mhm.
recently, the Miss USA, Miss Universe system, they removed the age cap and took away a lot of the stipulations. So that made me eligible to compete again. So my dream was always there, but now it's alive again. So I'm here and I'm ready to compete. And I never thought this opportunity would come again. And when it did come, I had to seize this opportunity.
What are some of the politics behind that? Why do you think they removed the age cap? Cap.
Well, the world is changing. The world is becoming more diverse, equity, and inclusion, you know. So, as things change in the world, you have to change to keep up with the times. And it was just time to make a change. And I think the pageant systems realized this and they did the right thing. And now we have so many different competitors. We have trans women competing, women of all different ages, shapes, and sizes. And, you know, we're winning.
Oh, okay. And I don't know. Educate someone. I don't know if some of the viewers are aware. Are a lot of people aware that the Miss USA has trans women with cis women as well?
Yeah, it has been announced. And then also last year's Miss Maryland was a trans woman. She was also over the age of 30 and also married.
Wow.
All things that were previously prohibited. So, yeah, things are changing. And now we have so many more diverse competitors.
I love it. Also, I also noticed that a lot of things times have changed. A age cap. In previous years, women just raised children and took care of home, and they really didn't have as much time for their beauty or take care of themselves or take care of their body, their skincare. They really were raised in a village. And I see now that women after 30 and 40s, they're moms, but they're putting themselves first as well. Like we're raising children, but we're also taking care of ourselves. We're taking care of our skin. We're keeping up with our gym routines. So yeah, 50. So yeah, 50 looks much different than what it looked.
Yes. And so does 36 because no one could believe my age. When I went to the pageant orientation last month, we were talking and I told the girls, you know, I first competed in this pageant system in 2006. And one of the girls was like, in 2006, I was 4. How old are you? And I was like, oh, I'm 36. And they're like, jaws dropped. They couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, women, like, I literally think, women in their 40s were wearing muumuus, and now the girls' muumuus have splits in it, and they're rocking in their 30s. I mean,
Okay. Okay.
women wore more modest makeup and things, and now
Mm-hmm.
the women in their 30s and 40s are like full glam me up, baby.
Yes.
Like lash
Yes.
extensions, everything. I don't. Older women just put a little blush on, a little rouge, and the girls are like, no, glam me up, like
Deep
you know.
down now. Yes.
Women would shop in sections in stores based on their age, and the women are like, I'm still in the juniors. Like,
Yeah.
don't box me in. I wear what
Okay.
I want to wear. So I think a lot has changed when it comes to beauty standards and how women represent themselves and how they express themselves, whether through beauty, fashion, um, even the type of jobs they have. Women
Yes.
had age cap on the type of jobs they work based on their age, and women are like, no, if I want to bartend at 50 and I still look good, I will. If I still want to do this I will do that. So you definitely see the change in this age cap. Women are no longer, even with having children, there's no cap on them. So I love that the pageant world is reflecting that. I love it. I love it. Now, were there any fears that you had going in that you wouldn't be accepted or your age would be an issue or?
You know, when I decided to compete, you know, last year I thought, oh, I can't compete. I'm wearing a hijab. I'm dressed modestly. How can I compete? And then this year I said, girl, why can't you? So when the application process started, I submitted my headshot in hijab, fully covered, and they got back to me and I was accepted. And that let me know this is my time. The world has changed and I can compete and not only just compete, but I can compete as myself.
I love it. I love it. Do you feel like the first time around you competed as yourself?
The first time I competed, I had no idea what I was doing. So I was a a little bit too much of myself. You know, I had no training, my hair was wrong, makeup, everything. But as I continued to compete, I trained, I got trainers, and I continued to get better. So I was definitely myself, but I will say that at 36, I know myself better than I did when I was in my 20s competing, and also I can bring a lot more to the table.
I love it. What does it mean to represent modesty though, and faith in a space like Miss New York or Miss USA in general?
It means so much on so many different levels. You know, the first thing is modesty. We don't see too many modest women at the forefront of the beauty and fashion and entertainment industries, and we're equally qualified. So this is a moment, not only will I be making history as the first, I will also be showing the world like, hey, you know, we're here too, and our beauty is also the standard of beauty. And then as for like some young girls, they may see me. There are girls who they may be Muslim and they don't want to wear the hijab. There may be some that wear it but feel uncomfortable. But when they see me as a title holder, fully representing them, it will let them know, like, hey, we can do this too. Look at her. She's beautiful. She's a title holder. She's successful. She's modest. She's in hijab. I can do it too.
I love it. And representation matters. I mean, we see it
Yes.
in animation and films, leading roles. I mean, people just don't understand. They're like, oh, it's an agenda. No, it's not an agenda. We just don't want everyone to look the same. It's not an agenda. You're just
Yes.
seeing different characters. You're seeing different people, different leading roles when they've been hidden for so long.
Yes.
So,
And now we're
you
coming out.
can you imagine for decades after decades, all the shows current and reruns, all you see, everyone looks
Same
white.
people, the same
Everyone's white.
look. Yeah.
Literally, can you imagine? Or there's only one black person, or one
Yes.
this, or one like.
And it
Can
creates a
you?
competitiveness in us, but now it's clear like there's room for all of us. You know, I can exist, you can exist, we can all be there. We don't have to compete against each other. It's no longer the, oh, there's the one token. No, we're all here, we're all shining.
Yeah, it's just insane for people to think for that long in every element from politics to TV to media to pageants to jobs to this. Every CEO looks this way. Every producer
Yeah.
looks this way. Every actor looks this way. Every singer, like it's just insane. Like why is there one for every 100? Like
Yes. Yes.
so representation does matter. So we love and appreciate the Mona Lisas of the world. You've dedicated this comeback to your late mother. How does her legacy show up in this chapter of your life?
You know, so many things happen, and I'm just like, I know that was my mom because you what? So I've gotten so much support, and I really think that I'm living still off of the prayers of my mother. Some of the things that happened for me, I know it came from her prayers, and just so many opportunities that I have, so much support that I'm getting, and you know, my mom was my number one cheerleader. She was there with me through everything, the
Mhm.
fundraising, the buying things. And I was nervous at first, but now everything is just coming into play. And I know that's her spirit, the way things are working out for me.
I think when it comes to grieving, I think people handle grieving different ways. Some people go through a state of shock and numbness, and some people go through it where they feel resilience and they feel unstoppable. So I love seeing the different dynamics because I understand and empathize with the people that are grieved and they feel numb and they feel stuck. But I also empathize with the people that feel empowered and they see this person here and there and they feel them all over and it just fuels them. So I understand both sides of grieving. So when I hear stories of, heartbreak and things like that, I empathize. But I also love hearing your stories where it's like, no, I feel her there. No, she's there. She's here. So,
Yeah.
you know, um,
She's definitely. And
so
I will say, you know, my mom passed away from cancer. By the time she found out she had cancer, she was already at stage 4. So
oh
I
my
prayed for
goodness.
God to give me a little time with her, and He granted that. And, you know, when we found out that she actually was probably not going to make it, I started going to therapy. And when she passed away, I started like a new chapter of therapy. So I think going to therapy, getting that bereavement support helped me a lot in
Yeah.
this journey. So I am an advocate for therapy. Even when my cat passed away that I had for 14 and a half years, I got a little bereavement therapy. And I think religion is good, but God gives us professionals to help us also.
Yeah.
And we should actually explore that route because it is healthy.
Um, Do you think that mentally you needed therapy to be able to compete? Do you think that was something that was needed to compete?
I definitely think therapy is important before or after a death, because not that you need advice, sometimes you just need to put things in perspective, because a therapist may not tell you what to do, they just may allow you to look at things differently. And I think that's necessary, because I could have just gave up on life and been sad and, oh God, why me? But then it's, what can I do with her legacy? What can I do with her life? Okay, my mom didn't get to do these things. She had these dreams for me. So am I just going to let go of these dreams, or am I going to get myself back together and live the life that she raised me to have? Because if we're lucky, we will get to bury our parents, right? We don't want it to be the other way
Yeah,
around.
wow.
Where our parents have to bury us. So I think it was a blessing, a privilege, and an honor to be there for my mom while she was passing, clean her body, handle her bereavement, her funeral arrangements and things with her.
Ajananta, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a privilege and an honor for me to get through that. And that's something she would have wanted me to do. And I'm grateful that I did it for her and she didn't have to do it for me. And I took my time and I got myself back together. I was down for a little while. I gained some weight. I had to regroup. I did have my grieving moment, but I didn't stay there. And I think that's what's important about therapy. You can go through your emotions, but just don't stay there. Get back up.
Broken crayons still color.
Period.
Yes. All right, now it's time to turn up just a little bit. Let's talk about pageant culture. Let's get spicy in this segment. Stereotypes, myths, and truths. Let's talk about the pageant culture, the good, the bad, the things that people whisper about and never want to say out loud. What's one big stereotype about the pageants that you've personally lived through or busted wide open? Like, what's something that is true?
Well, I will say people always ask me, "Oh, are pageant girls mean to you? Do they this? Are they nasty acting?" And it's absolutely the contrary. So the thing about a pageant girl is our training that we get. A pageant girl is top notch, creme de la creme. She's the most beautiful. She's most fit. She's most successful. She's serving her community. She's multifaceted in many, many things. So generally, pageant girls are never mean because they don't have to. Because generally nastiness comes from a place of insecurity, and in
Mhm.
pageantry we're built so high, and you have to be of a certain type of tenacity to even compete, right? Because think about it, you're going on stage in a swimsuit, you're walking in front of hundreds, maybe thousands of people, it may be live, millions may see, you never know. So to have that level of confidence, those are generally not mean women. So I will say that whole myth about pageant girls being dumb, just pretty faces, or mean, absolutely not true.
So, what about some of the Black and other brown minorities who have experienced racism and bullying within the pageant world? Are you discrediting their stories and their experiences since you say there aren't really mean girls in there?
So overall, I haven't experienced mean girls, and I haven't heard too many stories of girls experiencing racism. I've competed from 2006 to about 2016, and we always got along. I think there was one time I competed, and this was back when we wore swimsuits, and I asked the young lady if I could use some of her butt glue, and she just like, she didn't answer me. It could have been shock. Maybe she just didn't want to share. It could have been a race thing, but I'm not too sure. But my personal experience, I haven't experienced myself. But I do know that it exists, because if you think about it, how long did it take for the black girls to start winning on a regular
Yeah.
basis, right? And then now it's a where it's more inclusive, and black girls are winning back to back. Like I said, it's not a situation anymore of, oh, there's only one token, or if this black girl makes the top five, I can't. Times are really changing, and I'm grateful to be back into pageantry at this time while things are changing, because everyone has a chance, because it's inclusive, it's more fair. There's less politics that go into it. It's right now everyone really has a fair shot. Anyone can win.
So basically, you're not saying or dismissing these claims just in the air of you doing pageants, you having experiences. And a lot of these things may have happened decades prior to you because
Yes.
times have changed. You were lucky enough to enter the industry during a time where things were becoming diverse. You said
Right.
like 2016, so things probably were much different than
Right.
maybe a girl's pageant experience in the 70s or the 80s or the
Right.
90s, I'm sure. So I would agree that times have changed, and thankfully you haven't experienced those things. So we're going to continue to go a little off script when it comes to stereotypes in the pageant industry, especially when it comes to hair and makeup, and them being able to have representation there, and how to do hair properly, how to do black hair, and black hair being loved and showcased and felt and represented there, black makeup, because in modeling and in pageants, tons of supermodels and pageant girls have talked about that. I mean, that's why Iman created Iman Cosmetics, because there
Right.
weren't the right shades, and they weren't just going up a couple more pigments hair. They were burning and breaking off hair. Look at Naomi Campbell's situation, traction alopecia, because they could not properly do our hairs or get the right stylist to do our hairs. Do you feel like those times have changed?
I think the times have changed, but praise due to Allah. I wear hijab, so no one will be doing my hair except for me, and no one will be seeing it. So that's not something that I can personally speak on. But what I will say is, as far as the hair, the young lady who just won Miss Pennsylvania USA, she has a short, low cut, all natural, and she won. So the diversity is definitely there. So in the past, also my mom's a cosmetologist, so she did my hair for the competition. And now, and now that she's no longer here, I wear hijab. And as far as makeup, I have heard girls saying, they weren't too happy with their makeup. I'm using the makeup sponsored team. I believe it's D'Amelio Cosmetics. I paid for their
Oh, I
services.
actually know who they are. Yes.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to be fine. And, as a pageant girl, as a woman, period, you should also know how to beautify yourself. So let's say the makeup is a little wrong. That's where your skills come into play, and you can tweak it and touch it up and make sure that you're stage ready. Because, as my dad always says, stay ready and you don't have to get ready.
Get
So
ready.
even if someone messes something up a little bit, I have the skills to then go in and fix it up, because ultimately I'm responsible for how I look on stage and how I present myself.
I love it. I love it. What's something about the industry that surprised you when you got behind the curtain?
The chaperones, I didn't know that we would have chaperones, and they are such a blessing. I've literally seen girls like dress a split, and as they're running on stage, the chaperone is chasing behind them, stitching it up or pinning it up so that they can get on stage. My very first pageant, I was walking up the stairs and my heel got caught into my dress. And when I watch the video, you can see like my foot like moving. And a chaperone happened to be there, and she was just as frantic as I was, like getting my heel. And I was just like, where did she even come from? I thought I was walking up the stairs by myself. But as soon as my heel got stuck and I tried to like get it out, boom, she was right there. She got my foot out of the dress, and I got up on that stage.
Yes, and no one even
Chaperone.
knew what was going on, did they?
Yes, yes.
Did anybody notice or no?
I don't think so. Maybe like some people in the audience may have seen like my foot moving or whatever, but I doubt it. I doubt it.
Oh, okay. Okay. And the chaperones, how were you introduced to them? Like, what were you told?
So at the pageant, we meet them. We meet all of the staff, and we find out who the chaperones are. Of course, you can't have strangers or friends or anything backstage. So the only people that can help us are the chaperones, which is good because they're non-biased. They help everyone, as opposed to is if you bring your own people in. It just lessens the possibilities of confusion, and we have the proper help. We have help from people that are trained and are professional, and it just makes for a seamless backstage experience.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'll wrap this up with our segment, but I want to ask you. So let's be real. Have you ever felt underestimated because of your age or your modesty or your background? What did you do with that energy if you did feel it?
I have not felt underestimated. I actually, on the contrary, I feel elevated because, as I was saying, at 36, I bring so much more to the table. I have major sponsorships, I have major partners. I'm sponsored by the State Farm Allen Wheeler Agency, also by Popeyes Harlem and Urban Modesty, Fatima's Boutique. Excuse me,
Oh.
Fatima's Obsession clothing boutique, and I have so much support that I wouldn't have had in my 20s, because now I've built a life, I've built my community service pillars, and I'm just doing so much. And additionally, all of the girls thought that I was in my 20s. So even in my 30s, I think it's just a testament to who I am, how hard I've worked, how resilient I am, and how much more deserving I am, because I've
Mhm.
maintained myself at this age. I'm ready to compete, and I just have so much to offer to the competition. Whereas in my 20s, I needed the title, but now at 36, I bring as much, if not more, to the pageant, to the organization, and to the title. Just as much as they give to me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You're using your platform to advocate, and from reading your bio and going on your social medias, I just love the advocacy, and I have to speak on it. One of the things I love a lot is that you're literally pushing forward genetic cancer screening and health equality. Can you tell me how this calling came to you? Obviously, it's rooted in your mother, but could you tell us some more?
Yeah,
What
so
brought
I was actually at the I went on a trip. Excuse me, I went on a visit to an ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor, just for a checkup. And he saw like an extra bone growth in my mouth, and he asked if anyone in my family had colon cancer, because it looked like, from my bone growth, that I might have something called Gardner syndrome. And I said,
Mm,
yes, my mom actually passed away from colon cancer, and he suggested that I get genetic testing. So I reached out to Memorial Sloan Kettering, which is the best top creme de la creme, of New York for cancer. And I went through the genetic screening process, and it wasn't found that I had Gardner syndrome, but it was found. I won't say that I do have. It was found that I may have something called, I think it's like PSB2. And pretty much, I'm not a survivor of cancer. I don't have cancer, but I'm considered a previvor. So I'm
oh,
looking forward to starting that advocacy, because a lot of people test for cancer, but they're not testing for the genetic traits and the genes that can lead to cancer. So that's something that I really want to put out in the community, because just because you don't have cancer right now doesn't mean you don't have a gene that can later mutate into cancer that you need to be aware of. So, when I got the diagnosis, the doctor was like, "Oh, sorry, we know this isn't the news that you wanted." I'm like, "No, this is absolutely the news that I wanted, because if something is going on in my body, I want to be the first one to know." And my mom found out she had cancer when she was already at stage 4. So I would much rather know that it's a possibility, so that I can be preactive as opposed to reactive. And I want to help as many people with that as I possibly can.
so if someone wants to go, whether someone has private insurance or Medicaid, everyone is qualified to go get genetic testing.
So it depends on your situation. So for me, I was able to get the genetic testing covered by my insurance, because my mother passed from colon cancer, and also a doctor saw that I had signs of possibly having Gardner
So he
syndrome.
wrote your referral.
Right, and then also my dad regularly gets colonoscopies, which is how my insurance covered mine, because there's a history of, my dad had a few polyps. Polyps are like little, I don't know what you would call them, but they can potentially lead to cancer. So he had some which were removed. And so, based on his history, plus my mom's history, the doctor's findings, that allowed my insurance to cover everything for me.
So a regular person just wanting genetic testing because they're curious, they would have to pay out of pocket.
There is a possibility, but also I had to screen, like, I went back like my whole family tree to see who had cancer. So let's say your parents were healthy, but your grandparents passed away from cancer, or a doctor found something in you that was like a little irregular, and they want to test it. I don't know necessarily if the insurance will cover random testing, but I know if there is any hint of something, you can definitely push and try and get your insurance to cover it.
And does it make paranoia when you find out these things, or is it comforting knowing ahead of time?
No, for me, I was excited. So when I say my prayers, I ask God for two things. One of the things is I pray for God to help me help other people without it being of detriment to myself. So I did this screening. I found that I may have something, but it's not detrimental to me, because I don't have cancer, and Lord willing, I won't develop it. But because I found out about this, because I have a platform, because I'm in the first Black sorority, because I do so much work in the community, because I'm competing for Miss New York USA and have a good chance of winning, I have the platform where I can spread this awareness to so many other people. And that's what I pray for. And when you pray for things, God answers. And when He answers, you have to be ready. So this is not something sad. I'm not nervous. I'm excited to help as many people as I can. And I'm excited to know that if something is going to happen to me, I'm ahead of the game and I'm ready.
I love it. I love it. Just relentless, fearless, and I just love it. You've also done work in undeserved communities, from park cleanups to youth outreach. What are those experiences like, and what has stuck with you the most?
I love it. And as a Black American woman, I'm from Bed-Stuy, right? I was fortunate enough to go to private school for elementary, but I'm still a Black woman living in an urban area, and I recognize the disproportionate treatment that some of our communities may receive. And I've been fortunate to go away to college. I went to undergrad Morgan State. I have a master's from LIU, so I've had some experiences, but when I see the condition of some of my people, it's like, no, we have to help them. And also, I learned a lot on my own. I don't really use the term "got it out the mud," but I
Yeah,
really had to build things on my own. And I always wish when I was building, like, I wish someone would come save me. Like, I wish someone would help me and make things easier for me. So when I got to a place where I could make things easier, I said, you know what, I'm going to help these Black children and underserved children and children just from all demographics that need help and teach them this financial literacy. Because one thing I never want is to be that bitter person that's like, oh well, I had it hard, so they can have it hard
the
too.
heart. Oh
No,
yeah,
the harder
that's
I
the
had it, the
worst.
easier I want these children to have it. So I will do everything that I can to help them, teach them financial literacy so that, they can learn without starting, technically from scratch. They can kind of come in knowing what they're doing. Because I lost a lot of money in the stock market learning on my
Ooh,
own, right? And then also with insurance. My mom set up policies for us, but if I would have known when I was 18, just think about 18 to start my own individual insurance policy, to start my own Roth IRA. So many more things I could have done if I just had this information. And as far as the work that I do in the parks, I noticed that the parks and some of the underserved communities with different demographics of people, these parks are beat down, and it's like, why is the park in this neighborhood looking good? Why is there
hmm
so much city funding for this park, yet these people here are tax paying as well, but their park doesn't look good? So let's figure out, what we can do here. And additionally, when people see me doing work, they give me more work, right? So when people see me out serving the community, I'm brung into other things, which is how I ended up doing the work for the park. So I'm glad to help out the park because it seems, the city wasn't doing it. So we have to do for ourselves.
Well, to answer those questions, the reason why is systemic racism. That's why certain communities don't have certain things, and that is
Right,
deep rooted. And that's why these same people that pay taxes, certain schools, homeowners' taxes go to fund schools and parks and things like that. So if your people, the urban community, Black people, aren't homeowners, which they don't encourage us throughout history to be homeowners, those property taxes don't go to parks and schools
right,
and things like that. There's no, we're renting and we're all renting, and most of us rent in New York City. Of course, there's going to be no property taxes to pay for these things. They know who the homeowners is, so their money goes to those things. So it's specific, it's
right,
intentional, it's systemic, and it's literally heartbreaking.
right.
Uh,
I
it's
will
lit-
say there are loopholes. So what I found with doing the work in the park, because we've come out about 5 times and our group is big and partnerships for parks and the city see that we're serious in maintaining the park. Now we're getting offers for additional partnerships. I
mm,
currently work with JD Sports doing the park, but now the city may come in and give us grants. So unfortunately, there is disproportionate treatment with the funding. However, sometimes you just have to do for yourself. As I was saying, with my
and
money,
find your own resources.
right? Am I going to stay down or am I going to get myself together? Yeah, the money is being distributed unfairly, but what are you going to do? Are you going to continue to allow your children to play in a less than park, or are you going to start cleaning up this park
Okay,
and looking for funding? What are you going to do?
We've always been people that figure it out. Our culture has
Yes.
always made lemonade. Like we always have took lemons and made.
So my saying is, I take lemons and make sweet potato pie. Then the people are like, "What? How do you do that?" Listen, listen.
I do it.
That's what I
I
do.
do it. I do it. What projects or initiatives are you most excited to launch in this last quarter year or 2026? Especially if you're crowned Miss New York USA.
Well, definitely, I would like to keep the things that I'm currently doing, the Wealth First, teaching the financial literacy. But as Miss New York, I would love to put it in every school or at least every city. Whereas right now, I'm doing, one program per year with about 50 students, and I currently partner with State Farm um, and the Brooklyn Nets and Pillar to Post. So, oh, and Doc's Cake Shop on Bainbridge,
Hmm.
they always support me. So I would like to start doing it in every school as opposed to just one time a year. And then with the partnership for parks, as opposed to just doing Brevoy Playground and revamping it, we're now donating a mural. So that's being worked on.
I love
And I would like
it.
other organizations to clean different parks. I would like to spread this all around the city as Miss New York. And even beyond Miss New York, I have programs in place for Miss USA, even Miss Universe. As Miss Universe, there is an orphanage in Nairobi, Kenya that I help out when I can. I've sent them some donations. So I want to try and get them some partners because oftentimes the young girls, they have to decide, do we get food for everyone or do we buy these girls the hygienic products that they need? And because everyone has to eat, these girls are going without the hygiene products that they need. And that should
Yes,
never be
I've
a
heard
choice.
I've
Right.
heard countless stories of women not being able to have deodorant, having to free bleed, which I don't judge
Yes.
anyone that free bleeds, but it should be a choice if you want to free bleed, not free
Right.
bleeding because you don't have access to
And not for little
tissue.
girls. A little girl would never choose that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
a little girl would
So
never choose that.
right.
People that when it comes to hygiene and hygienic choices, like people that keep their armpit hair, their pubic hair, or they free bleed, it's literally a personal choice because they
Right.
want to.
Right.
It should always be something a woman chooses to do, not because they don't have the resources. That is an issue for me. Like
Yes.
not having the resources, it's not me judging the community that want to stay natural. It's the fact that these girls are not choosing this. They have no choice.
Yes.
So I definitely hear you. And the fact that you're so intentional and you think about these things and people have to choose between feminine hygiene and feeding themselves. Like I love that. You know, whew, this conversation was everything. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
being
having
our guest,
me.
Mona Lisa. You're beautiful, but the
Thank
kind spirit, just uh, you're going places, love. Um, before we finish this interview, I would just like to let the people know where they can find you, follow you at, where they can support your work and your advocacy, and how they can help you keep it going on. Could you tell the people a little bit about where they can find you at, how they can support you, how they can show up for you?
Yes. Everything you need to know about me is on my Instagram at Don't Call Me Mona. So just to play on words, because my name is Mona Lisa, a lot of people shorten it. So I said, you know what? I'll make my Instagram at Don't Call Me Mona. And there
I
you can
love that. Trademark that. Trademark that.
thank
Trademark
you. There you can see my journey into Miss New York, from start to finish, even from back when I was like 16, as well as I have a GoFundMe. I have about $3,500 that I'm looking to raise that I have left over. And also the People's Choice just came out, so you can even vote for me to win the People's Choice Award and get to the finals in the Miss New York competition. And when I do community service projects that are open to the public, that will also be posted on my Instagram.
I love it. I do have a couple more things I want to ask you real
Yes,
quick.
yes.
When it comes to just a rapid little fire round, I want to do soft life or hard hustle.
Soft life always. So I wrote this poem called I Am Not a Strong Black Woman, okay? Do not come over here trying to make me work hard. I'm not created to endure. I live a very soft life and I look for ways to create ease in my life. I would rather strategize and think how to do something easily for 2 months than to work every single day for 2 months and make the same money. I always want the easiest, softest way. Now, when it comes to serving the community, if I have to do something hard, I will because I see the benefit in it. But for myself, I'm easygoing. I like everything easy. I like my massage every week, my facials, my hair. My hair is done underneath here, okay?
I have
So
one more question that people wanna know. They wanna know what's the theme song to your, pageant. What is your theme song? If you had a theme song that resonated with the pageant, your walkout song, the song you play in your head, this is your theme song. If you had a TV show, this would be the opening song. What is it?
So everyone thinks my song will be Slick Rick Mona Lisa. It is not, or Nat King Cole Mona Lisa. Growing up, my brother listened to a lot of DMX, and he's grown to be my favorite rapper. And his song for my life, from my mother's passing, my resilience, getting back on the stage, everything is slipping. And
Ah,
that intro,
that's a gospel song, baby. You know that's
yes,
gospel.
to
Baby, that's a
live
gospel
is to
song.
suffer, but to survive, well, that's to find meaning in the suffering. That's my whole life.
People do
That's
not
it.
understand that was a gospel album, baby. That
Yes,
that, that man spoke. That was from God, from the
yes,
heart and
yes.
pain. Wait, one more question. One word that you would use to define you and how you're showing up this year.
Magnetic. Everything I desire comes to me. Anything I need for the community comes to me. I might have a low budget and it's like, how am I going to pull this project off? The money comes. I needed to raise the funds for this pageant. My business slowed down. The donations came in. All of the support, anything that I needed comes to me. I feel like I take care of God's people and God takes care of me. And when I don't have the money for something, God foots the bill. So definitely,
Magnetic.
yeah.
Guys, we have learned so much about Mona Lisa.
Oh, you went out. You seem to have gone out. Let's see. I don't know. Okay. Well, if you could see me, thank you all so much for having me. I greatly appreciate this opportunity. Please keep me in your thoughts and prayers. Oh, you're back.
I'm like, what happened? I'm like, it
I
kicked you
didn't
out.
know.
Whatever. Guys, hold on. Wait. I just want to give a recap. We learned so many things about Mona Lisa, guys. I want y'all to take certain parts of this interview and please screen record it and repost it. She gave a message about resilience, showing up authentically, just being true to herself. She is raw, she is real, and her beauty is inner and outer, of course. I just want people to understand when you hear people tell about their journey and their plans, I need y'all to understand how much strategy goes into this, how intentional this woman is. She speaks from a place of authenticity. You know how? Because every answer resonated with me. And even though I've never been in the pageant industry, it felt relatable. And those types of people go far. Those are the true influencers, guys. People have a negative association with influencers and they need to stop. People of true influence, they're going to be popular. People are going to gravitate to them. They're going to get attention. They're going to walk in a room. So it goes back to say and speak on how she said these pageant girls, they're beautiful, they're trained, they're taught. People are going to gravitate to them. People are going to want to be like them, be near them, be next to them. It's because they have something that radiates. And this woman right here is a true beauty and pageant queen. Mona Lisa, we are going to follow you. We're going to stalk you. We're going to be on everything, Mona Lisa. I am a fan now, true fan. Thank you for representing modesty, Black girls, and bone structure, baby.
Thank you, mommy.
Yes, we love you, mommy. You are beautiful, and your team is doing an amazing job with you. I'm 36, and I'm inspired. We got baby faces.
Okay,
You
looking good.
you
I did not expect to
listen.
see it.
Keep going, keep going. We want to see you at 46, and we want to see you at 56. Take over the world, and keep making sweet potato pie
And bean pie.
and bean pie. Make all the pies from
Yes, with
lemons. We don't
lemon.
even know. We don't even know how.
That's right, with lemon.
Guys, We love Mona Lisa. It's your girl Topanga Avanti. Everyone that's watching, thank you for tapping into what's going on Swag Her Magazine. Please share this episode clip, share it to a friend, save, subscribe. These conversations are going to keep happening. I love Swag Her Magazine because they show people that really matter and conversations that need to be had. Our editor in chief is amazing. She literally finds the right people and puts them in the right places. I'm your girl, Topanga Avanti, the Black Samantha Jones, and I'm here with what's going on Swag Her Magazine. Thank you, Mona Lisa.
Thank you so much.
Bye. I'm